6/11/2023. Hello, people. It's a Sunday morning as when I'm making this. Cheers to you all. This is the first morning I woke up with a noticeably diminished amount of ringing in my head. I'm very happy. I think I've discovered some things about my diet. I'm not sure. But I'm not vegan and I'm not straight vegetarian. I was a vegetarian for several years in the 90s. But I'm noticing more vegetables, less meat, although I eat very little meat, gyros and fish primarily. But I've been really focused on tomato juice and lentils with vegetables. And I don't know if that's making a difference, but I feel really good today, and the ringing in my head is noticeably lower. Hallelujah! This has been going on for almost all of May. So I'm real pleased. Real pleased. So I'll say cheers again. Folks, another Dear Diary moment. My subscription number is right at... Let me go and look at it again so I can speak like I know what I'm talking about. So my subscription level is at 30,999. That's pretty cool, and which means that in time it will go over the 31,000 mark. It can go down, and it often does. I notice that. I do watch when I check in on my comments. I look at my stats, and the subscriber goes up and down, up and down, up and down. So it could go down as opposed to up and never reach 31,000. But I'll go ahead and speak about it now. Saying that, again, at the very least, people who subscribe, even if they don't always watch, it's a mark of approval, or that's how I take it, It's like a thumbs up, or it's like, yeah, you're okay when people subscribe, even if they don't always watch. 31,000 subscribers. That's something. That's a lot of folks who have said, yeah, we're okay with you. And I really appreciate it. You know what I like even more is the fact that I do not do the typical. I do not ask for subscriptions. It's probably been easily 10 years or something like that since I said something like that in a video. To me, it's pointless. Other folks say, subscribe, it helps the channel. Well, helps it do what? Seriously, that's my thought. It's like, helps it do what? It just seems like a thought as opposed to a reality. People are subscribing here because they want to. It's something that they decide, oh, this meets my approval or whatever. But you get to decide. I don't have nothing to do with it. So that's why it means even more to have such a large number. That's a large number. I mean, I know there's people who have hundreds of thousands, and they get plaques from YouTube. I don't care about that. If that were to happen, that'd be cool, but that's not what I'm about. And then the whole idea of, harvesting likes. You can't focus on that. And yet there's people who focus their daily lives on how many likes did I get today, and shit like that. That's bizarre to me. So what's going on? Well, I'll mix it up as usual. Music. I'll show a record and I'll keep just blabbering. Played one side of this yesterday, Heathen by David Bowie. This to me is one of his albums that's kind of murky. Murky. It's murky. After all this time and listening to this and really getting to, I'm really at a point where I feel like I really truly appreciate David Bowie. This album is like still a bit of a head scratcher. It's like, what was he up to when he made this album? There's just a few songs that really come through strong to me. Slow Burn is one. Son of a gun, that's the main one. And even after listening to it yesterday, the impression was, again, it's like, what's going on with this album? What was happening at this time? It seems very murky. I don't know. Someone was showing this in one of the music groups yesterday and talking about how it's essential British humor. I'm not British, but I have always appreciated the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. And this is their album Gorilla, American promo copy of it. I don't always get the humor. I like the setups. I like the music. I like the general atmosphere of what they do. I am the urban spaceman. I thought that was so cool when they would play that on the radio. So cool. UK. This could have been something. I remember I first heard this on the radio, of all things, here in Omaha on FM radio. It was mind-blowing because it's like I recognized Bill Bruford's drumming. You know, his drumming is promo copy. And John Wetton. And then when Alan Holdsworth started playing, it's like that I knew who these people were in 1978 when this happened. I was blown away that, you know, it came out of the gate like gangbusters, and I kind of thought something could maybe happen for them commercially, and it did not. But this is a great album. Everything about it, the compositions, everyone's playing, the ensemble work as well as the solos on the album are all outstanding. It's a great album. Great album. So before I forget to mention this, the Muse is, yes, it is sold out on the internet. I am technically sold out. What you see here is one of a handful of copies that I have left that I'm holding on to have for merch at my next show, my next solo show. I actually have a show this weekend with David Nance down in Lincoln. I'm really happy about that. We rehearse tomorrow, but I get to play with the David Nance Band Saturday in Lincoln. But I heard from a couple of you folks, Paul and Russell in particular, about the magazine where you were kind of bummed that you didn't get a chance to get it. Well, I have about 5 magazines left. That one that's on the wall there behind the lamp. And what I plan to do is offer it when my next CD comes out, which is in a couple of weeks. I told you about this sound project that I did with Brian Day out of San Francisco. We recorded a session here in March. It came out really well. It's sound work. It's not songs, but it's good stuff. Anyway, his label is producing a CD, not a CDR, a CD of it, and it'll be out in a couple of weeks. And I will offer the magazine to the first few folks who buy it, okay? I'll say this in the video, if you see it, Russell and Paul P. Jr., if that's to your interest, let me know that you want the magazine, and I'll set those aside for you if you buy my new CD, which I encourage you. You know, it's more good work. It's not like the Muse at all. I'm real happy with it though. It's pretty compelling stuff. With that in mind, I'll explain that the latest video that I have uploaded for the Muse, Ashore Anew. Interesting feedback. I was looking for more images to fit what was in my mind about adding to that fairly static loop of the lake and the smoke and the mist. I was looking for like a pier, you know, like a pier heading out into the mist. I didn't find anything that really, in the short term, fit what I saw in my head. Excuse me. But if you watch the video again, there is a moment there where out of the mist, the image of mountains dimly appears and then it fades again. That was all I could find to add that fit. But on another level, symbolically, the fact that nothing ever emerges out of the lake, like maybe you think something's going to come out, like maybe a person or a monster or something is going to emerge. Symbolically, in a way, for me, that fits that nothing emerges, because if I wanted to make something to emerge out of the Ashore Anew landscape, would be some sort of image of something that is not dark, but something that breaks through, you know, and starts to brighten things up. Symbolically, that's what I was would like to see. But otherwise, I love the image. It's just like it's static, and it's a visual to go along with listening. And someone else asked, I forget, someone who, you know, I'd look and see the name, but they asked, are those Atmospheres old recordings on the song Ashore Anew? No. Ashore Anew is actually a brand new recording that I composed for the Muse after we had started, and I was inspired by Blake, you know, his involvement. And so I use digital effects that come in the box to come up with the sound of the thunder, and the it sounds like there's rain, but there really isn't. It's the patch that I'm using, a couple patches I'm using. So thank you. It came out really well. I will say, you know, it may sound egotistical or whatever, but I know this is one of the best records I've ever made. I've made a bunch. So the other person said you ought to put it in a frame and put it on the wall. You know, no, it's not like that. I've made over 100 recordings, and I have several releases, you know, at least 50 in physical form. So no, the Muse isn't like that. I have a lot of other records I'm really proud of. This is one of the best things I've ever done, though. Yeah, it is. It is. But this CD here, which it's going on 20 next year. This will be 20 years old. I released this in 2004. Dereck number 2. Like I said, I've got about 10 copies of this left. Next person that buys one of these will get a magazine. How's that? Okay. And you can hear, when you get this, you can hear the trajectory of this all the way through to what I'm doing now. There's ambient stuff on here. There's also vocals, though. So just some info about that, eh? Hope you all have been having a good weekend. Hope it's still good. Some more records, because I did. It was such a blessing to be able to listen to music and not have it compete with the head noise. I don't know this fellow, but Joseph Bendola, he is a musician who I am now friends with on Facebook. He's also on the compilation Jazz music from jazz from the 23rd century. I like his cut on there. That's something else you ought to check out. Anyway, he had posted this in one of the music groups yesterday, and I said, "Oh shoot, I have that." I hadn't listened to it in a long time, so I put it on. This was wonderful. It's that bleepy stuff that mostly sounds dated, but this one was pretty cool. This is a good one. Boulette RL, and Milton Babbitt. That's probably what I'm hearing. Those are probably the ones that stood out to me. Columbia Princeton Electronic Music Center. I do like to collect these. Along those lines, or maybe not along those lines. First record I played yesterday, just glorious. This is just fantastic. Terry Riley in C. It's not an original. It's a reissue. This is, I think, absolutely essential listening. Terry Riley was a big influence on Soft Machine. Third, Terry Riley is all over Out Bloody Rages. That intro, that's pure Terry Riley. This is fantastic. Now, what's amazing about this is that this was recorded, in 1960, is it 1968? This sounds present. This sounds like it was recorded today. That's amazing to me. And the man, I follow him on Instagram. He's just turned 88 this month. And what a vital man. And he's just so full of joy. I love his presence. This is fantastic. Now, an aside, Terry Riley just turned 88. Yesterday I had another wonderful Zoom with my family. And Floyd Norman is my brother-in-law, the Disney animator, Disney legend. He turns 88 this month. We focused on him yesterday a lot because he and my sister, his wife, going through his stuff, found some really old illustrations that he had done as a little boy, already fantasizing about becoming a comic book maker and stuff. We talked about that. And it was so wonderful because when you talk to Floyd, you can't tell he's going to be 88. He is fully alive, in the moment, activated, happy and full of life. And one of his secrets, it's not a secret, I've shared it before, and he's aware of it, is he stays tapped into his joy. He loves to draw. He loves Disney. Ever since he was a little boy, every day of his life he draws. And every day he draws Disney characters because he wants to. He sells them. He does commissions and he has these. It's online. How wonderful. That inspires me. Right? That inspires me. So you live in the moment. Live now. Cheers. Another record I played, one side all the way through. Pianist Richard Byrock with bassist George Mraz and Jack DeJohnette. So, I'm not a hypocrite, but it's funny. I said I don't listen to drum solos. I did yesterday. Jack DeJohnette's solo, it was like, did I notice it? I sure did. Did I have the knee-jerk reaction of taking the needle off? Yes and no, because all I had to do is just shut up and listen. Jack's technique, and it's not the technique, it's how he uses what he knows. It's so amazing how many records he's made, and yet how much variety and beauty and propulsion he can get out of his skills. So, I guess I do listen to drum solos sometimes, huh? I'm human. This is beautiful. ECM album. It kind of popped out of the shelves in the other room. I was doing something. And I said, well, yeah, leave this out. I don't even remember what this play sounds like. Beautiful. Lovely music. Music is so important. It's no surprise that we don't have decent musicians as politicians, people who make deep, loving, enlightened music. They're not politicians. Here's an album I started to play the other day, and it stays in the collection, but it's because of the label it's on. It's not what I really like. The band is Gate. The album is Red Light Sister. What a shit cover. Just a shitty cover for my taste. That would have, even that is still questionable. You know how things change with the times. This album has the second song starts off with keyboards and promise, but it kind of plods along. Kind of that mid-70s plodding sort of German rock sound that to me sounds like it was inspired by American music, but it sounds German. I bet they have a better album than this, but I keep it because of the label Brain mainly. Excuse me. And chances are there will be a time when I put this on, it'll resonate. It'll be, oh, okay, there it is. That's what's good about this. Okay. So there's some records for you. Man, it's already 21 minutes. So like I said, I'm excited. I am excited that I get to play with David Nance this upcoming Saturday in Lincoln. We're playing at the Lincoln Arts Festival this coming Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. Other than that, I am watching the news. Tuesday will be an interesting day. That's all I'm going to say about it. These are historic times. It's a shame that we have such a negative person taking up so much of the airwaves, taking up so much attention, causing so many problems, so undeserving of being in a position of leadership. And yet because of the mad thirst for power and revenge, even, it seems like, and also racism is involved here. We're dealing with this bullshit, with this horrible psychopath. It's huge, you know. It's man, it's really it's pathetic to think that he could still get away with what he's done. Espionage. Anyway, last thing I want to say is, yeah, I'm back on Twitter because that's really the landscape where a lot of this is being discussed. And it is just mind-boggling. Folks who are disconnected from reality, really into a cult, like they just don't care about facts. And why? How is this supposed to be good for the world? This megalomaniac, sociopath, psychopath who finagled his way into the presidency, and look at the mess. Look at the mess. Why would anyone want this mess except they think they're going to personally benefit from it? I don't know. Anyway, enough with that shit. Yeah, my head feels so much better, much quieter, much quieter. I hope you all have a good day or evening whenever you see this. And as always, share your thoughts with me. Civilly, please. And more than likely, at the end of this day, I will have 31,000 subscribers. Thank you all very, very much.